I can feel something inside this draft. It makes me so excited, yeah.
That was beautiful.
Yep. Thank you for that.
All right, sharing. I'll tag you in post, Jason.
Do you believe in the NFL draft? Is it truly one of the greatest spectacles? I got nothing.
Yeah.
Todd.
I
listen
really
up
need
here.
to teach Tanner about syllables.
Syllables can suck on my farts.
All right.
In the grand scheme of things, they really don't fucking matter. Oh yeah.
Three people tuned in right away and have tuned out already because now they'll have "Can you believe?" by Cher.
Yeah. You're fucking welcome. That's what we're here for. We are not just a podcast. We are a gift to all of you fine people.
Hey, if people are gonna respect some of Madonna's music, you have to respect some of Cher's music. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Can we just talk about things that age like an open bottle of wine?
Yeah.
That's disgusting. You made me throw up in my mouth a little.
Listen, people can do whatever they want in this life. You guys know me. I'm pretty open to just the whole human rights thing, to do whatever the fuck you want. But you are not free from criticism.
Correct.
When you spend pretty much what you earned on your first album in plastic surgery.
Yeah.
And that first album went like quadruple diamonds. So
That picture going around the internet saying, can you imagine going back in time and telling people Rosie O'Donnell would look better than Madonna when they're in 2023? It's pretty incredible.
things that would not have surprised me back in the day if you told me Rosie O'Donnell turns into like a racist Trumper, and I'm like, yeah, I can see that one.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God! So I saw this TikTok video. Sorry, not to get political here. We'll talk draft, but it was like this early 2000s style, like introducing the comedies of the right, introducing the same joke told 15 times, and it's just like the same politicians go, "My pronouns are kiss my ass," and I'm like,
Oh,
so
yeah.
we do have a new, we do have in this ever evolving world, especially where we are respecting LGBTQIA LMNOP rights, we do have the now kiss my ass sex. That we do have to start respectfully calling Republican politicians and commentators by.
And
So Ted Cruz and Rosie O'Donnell are now the same sex. So
I was gonna say, depending on the sex, also it becomes part of the LGBTQ community with the age.
what?
Rosie O'Donnell turned into a dude or what?
No, Ted Cruz is just that bitch.
Oh, fair enough.
He's
I was trying to figure out which one it was.
Sorry, but not to get too. Yeah.
Anyways, football draft time. Yeah.
What's up, Mom? Love you.
Hey, don't spill coffee on your laptop.
Yeah, no, that ain't gonna happen.
Well, you're tired. I don't
This
trust
is an
you.
iron grip.
His computer has an
Yeah,
alien
but
on
is
it.
next to me. Just want to point that out to you.
You son of a bitch.
His computer has an
No, you're
alien
a
on it, so
left-handed
it's
freak, I'll
it's
be right.
it's
Yeah, but
protected.
what if I like bump this and it bumps into that? Like you gotta think about these things, Jace.
I'm not letting go. All right.
I'm never letting
Thanks
go,
for tuning in,
Jack.
you guys. I am the walking corpse of Jay Syme, and I'm happy to be here today.
This is what happens when you're up at 8 on a Sunday.
I feel.
Hello, Mom. Good morning. My mom's in the comments, so lovely.
Hello there.
Hello, boo.
Yeah, Jace is just getting set up, getting live.
Staying alive. Staying alive.
Yep.
In this draft class, I predict that the New York Jets fans will boo.
No.
Yes.
Say it isn't so.
Yes.
They
I
never
know.
boo.
Put it on there. That's my bold prediction for this draft. New York Jets fans will boo. The sky will turn blue.
My
Death and taxes, other certifiably things that will happen.
like one of my more vivid memories of Jets fans at the draft is like how hard they booed Goodell in 2011 when he came out, or 2012, and then turn around and announce Geno Smith, and they all started crying because they were so happy, and that did not work out for them at all.
So I will say this about Roger Goodell. I'm getting to a point later in my life, like I did with Tom Brady, where I want to like Roger Goodell. I feel like he's becoming more personal.
Yeah.
But Tom Brady didn't just dispel CTE and concussions hurting people long term. So that's where I can kind of forgive Tom Brady. Maybe almost there with Goodell, but he's going to have to like cure cancer.
Yep.
But like you see him hug the players at the draft, and he's getting a little bit more informal. It was COVID. It was the COVID draft.
Yep.
You saw him just sitting home in his recliner,
throwing back a bottle of Jack in his living room.
Do you not remember his handshake?
Well, they used to do handshakes, but now it's just hugs all the time.
No, his gangster handshake.
Oh yeah, he came in wide. He came in wide. Yep.
And then they chest bumped at the end, dude. That was hilarious.
Yeah, Goodell to a point is a homie, but he's also he's a businessman first. Do not get that twisted.
Yeah.
Brain injuries be damned.
Like, can you imagine us just sitting here holding a bottle of liquor being streamed straight to NFL Network in front of 5 million people nationwide and just throwing back liquor and calling out names? That was Goodell in 2020. That was pretty funny.
I missed
He was tuned up.
There was a point during COVID where we kind of started allowing some of our social barriers to kind of come back, and that was one of my favorite ones. Was we just saw the commissioner just drinking. He was just like, man, hey, welcome to the NFL draft. It's been a long fucking month, boys. Because this is first month of COVID. It is, supposed to be in Vegas. I was supposed to be at that draft with Eric, my stepdad.
Yep, it was supposed to be at the Bellagio,
we were supposed to be there, and then the vid happened, and then you know what? Just a little bit of the world kind of came back together when Roger Goodell was drinking at home, the rest of us.
Yep. NFL fans for the alcoholism support of Roger Goodell.
Do you think the bourbon company had to pay for that, or he's just like, hey, this is my favorite one, I'm giving a shout out to the boys?
He probably just gave a shout out to the boys, to be honest.
That's solid.
Roger Goodell, and despite all of his flaws, probably his biggest strength is his just lack of giving a fuck about what anybody thinks. He really just doesn't care.
Roger Goodell is definitely the dad of 3 daughters, who his wife was the disciplinarian. And I know this because I know the vibe, trust me. To where his daughter comes home late, makeup smeared, she's drunk, she got picked up by the local PD, but they let her off because she's a Goodell, right? So mom goes and picks her up from the holding cell, chews her ass all the way home. They come in yelling, and Roger's just sitting over there by the fire with a scotch, waiting for his wife to go slam the door so he can talk to his daughter and be like, hey, listen, what you did wasn't cool, all right? What we're going to do is we're going to have random alcohol inspections for the next 2 weeks, 3 times a day. You cannot opt out of these tests, so it's just like the NFL performance policy. But after that, after a year cleaning the policy or in the program, you're going to be free to go back out there again. So just straight to the point. Not angry. I'm just disappointed. You're in the alcohol prevention policy team now, all right? Whatever you call it.
You've inspired me. I'm actually now going to name my laptop Roger because it's a really good Dell.
Jesus Christ.
Literally, Alienware is just a premium version of Dell computers. So I have a very good Dell right here. This is Roger.
This is Roger
This is
Goodell.
Roger.
Roger Goodell.
Yep. All right, let's jump into a draft. What do we got for the fine folks of the stream this morning, Cole?
I think we'll just kind of BS it a little bit. Probably end it with some superlatives. Keep it pretty casual. Talking about the draft, though, I guess right now, let's talk about the number 1 pick. Do you think Ed has flipped to Bryce Young?
Yes.
With all the bias out there right now,
I do, and it's not only here. Tanner, why don't you take this over while I look up something real quick?
Hello, my honey. Hello, my darling.
Hello, my break time gal.
That's fine.
So,
that's fair.
just to give the viewers a little bit of background while Jason's kind of going into this. Essentially, recently there was a leak of I'm just going to call it the Q score, for essentially the test that kind of replaced the Wonderlic. Now, there are 4 top quarterbacks in this draft. Everybody's kind of been considering. That's nothing new. Will Levis, Bryce Young, and Anthony Richardson all scored very highly on this, and it's supposed to be about speed and processing skills, how your brain processes things. C.J. Stroud was the only one of the top 4 to score poorly on the test. It is believed that David Tepper, the owner of the Panthers, is a huge believer in this new test that is supposed to not so much be an IQ test, but actual cognitive recognition and speed, which I think we all agree is fairly important as a quarterback.
Absolutely.
But that's where I'll kind of kick it off to you, just a little bit of background on that and where we've kind of seen traffic go in the last couple of weeks here.
Gotcha. I absolutely, hands down, believe that Bryce Young, even when last time we did our mock draft a month and a half, or was it a month ago, I had Bryce going, even when Stroud was still the favorite. But the big indicator to me is because the most intelligent people in the NFL community reside in Las Vegas, and those are the odds makers. Okay, these guys are incredible at what they do.
That's a really
The
good nickname
odds-
for Josh McDaniels and
the-
Dave Ziegler if they ever
The odds
succeed at
makers.
anything. If they ever succeed, but continue.
So recently, Young's odds to be picked number 1 went from negative 105 to negative 300, and C.J. Stroud went from negative 130 to plus 210. So that is a pretty significant shift in where they were supposed to be going. Anytime Vegas makes a significant odds shift like that, there's a reason for that. They have pretty damn reliable sources.
So interesting thing here. I will note about a random guy I met in Vegas one time. So I met, fucking Jesus. Now the name is kind of coming off of me. The family owns the Houston Rockets. No, the family owns the Houston Rockets. Look it up. They also own the Red Rock Hotel, Casino, and Resort, and and they used to own a couple of other hotels.
For the Fertitas.
The Fertitas,
they own
yep.
the
So
UFC
I
gym
met,
or own.
So I met one of the Fertitas like youngerlings. Now, probably wasn't in the best state, but we were talking in the bar. He was, he enjoyed some sugar alternatives, but we're not talking Splenda. We're talking the Colombian kind.
Yep.
But essentially, yeah.
Very
Well, he was
culturally diverse. Sure.
yeah.
Yep.
Well, he was yacked out at the bar. He kind of told me, the insiders of betting is like, essentially they are any sort of like notable traffic and something like that. They have to be notified. Like Vegas has to be. Now, obviously, that's kind of a tell on the inside, but when you want to disparage between like what is buzz and beat reporter reporting versus what is kind of real, Vegas needs to be your filter on that, because that means the NFL's letting them know something. Because the NFL, like Goodell is talking with these owners.
Yep.
He's gauging their brains. He's not going into the draft unknowing. No one surprises Roger Goodell, I feel like, in that league. So I would agree at this point, though. I think Bryce Young, he's been the best quarterback in this draft as far as, I've talked about it. Highest floor. Maybe not the highest ceiling, but day one you're at least getting my favorite midline quarterback comp is Chad Pennington. I think that's kind of what you're getting here. You're getting Alex Smith. You are getting someone whose arm strength is not going to wow anybody. But if your offense runs 20 yards and under, he's going to excel.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sorry, my allergies are killing me today, boys.
Tanner, I know you're not really up in the draft prep too much. We more so just bring you on here to be the random weird guy. But I know you have been looking into, for fantasy reasons, at least probably the first handful of prospects. So for Bryce Young, what's kind of been your take on it? Do you think he is the best quarterback in this draft?
I don't think he is. Because what you're talking about future prospects. Like future, you're talking about ceiling, you're talking about floor, you're talking about all that. So, no, I don't think he is the best one. Like proper grooming. And the good kind of grooming.
I was like, let's clarify that one.
Grooming is a real word. It's just been very bad the past, ever.
Oh God, I've been dropping Kai off there every week.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, what have I done?
You see a pastor walk out of your groomer? No. Sorry, continue.
No,
Continue.
Anthony Richardson or C.J. Stroud could be a better quarterback than Bryce Young with the proper tutelage.
Yeah.
I'm starting to go on the AR-15 boat.
Yeah.
Only because bare minimum in today's NFL, I think a quarterback who is not the best passer like Anthony and someone like Cam Newton, for example, back in the day, I think they would actually do better in today's NFL. And here's kind of where I'm coming down with Richardson. Newton had better processing skills coming out, but he had nowhere near Richardson's arm. And Richardson actually already has the arm mechanics down as far as how to throw. Yeah. How you throw at different angles, how you throw different passes. He just needs to get the footwork down, the pocket awareness, the timing routes and stuff. And honestly, that's all teachable.
Yeah.
Extremely teachable.
If you got the IQ for it, boom.
Well, the more I read into him, like he just did this open letter this week to NFL GMs, just kind of explaining who he was as a person. And honestly, you can't help but, him win you over after that. Like he's a good dude. Now he might fail. He might be Malik Willis from last year, but I'm kind of gearing towards if he's in the proper system, he gets the proper development, aka he doesn't see the field this first year unless it's in a goal line package for a rushing touchdown. I think he's going to be good.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's Justin Fields, but with a better arm.
Well, he's bigger in Fields and faster, which is scary.
Yeah, he's pretty comparable to Josh Allen in my opinion.
But question is though, so Bryce Young goes 1. It's kind of been, determined like if the Panthers were going to go Stroud, then it was Stroud Young was how the quarterbacks were going.
Yep.
Does Stroud become the second quarterback taken now?
It is. I actually just finished my second mock draft first rounder yesterday, and I got CJ Stroud going to the Texans. They're not going to – they need to – D'Amico Ryans is going to be an amazing head coach, and his rebuild starts now, and I think they're going to give him the choice of who to take at 2, and I don't think he's going to pass up an opportunity to take a foundational quarterback that can really build a good future for that team.
I think they'd be smart to take Stroud, too. Texans are the only – I think they go quarterback, too. I'm still of the belief, like, I would not be shocked nor disappointed in them if they did not. Now, I understand, you need a quarterback to win in this league. I still think that going into that defense and going into that team more specifically, D'Amico Ryans, kind of – he was the head coaching hire this offseason, besides maybe Sean Payton. But even then, I still think, like, you guys might have had D'Amico a little bit ahead of Payton.
We did. D'Amico was our number 1, yep.
Yep, and so the thing is I think whoever signed him is guaranteeing him he's going to have a leash. Mm-hmm. That's where I believe still the Houston Texans, because I think that's a smart play. I think a lot of times you are pressured into taking a quarterback and maybe the wrong quarterback, someone you're not comfortable with. And the Texans, I can see in this class, if Young's their guy and he's not available there, maybe entertain training down or, shocking the fucking world and getting Will Anderson instead of a quarterback,
That's true. I mean, I would not put it out of the range of outcomes if the Colts traded up and the Colts took C.J. Stroud. That wouldn't surprise me.
But you do think he is the second quarterback taken regardless?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I think a lot of teams have Stroud as their number 1, to be honest. I think he just has all the physical tools. He's one of the more NFL-ready quarterbacks, and I think that him and Bryce Young are they're not surefire locks to be absolute elite quarterbacks, but I think they're surefire locks to be competent starters to build a team around.
I agree. I think you're looking with a better class than we kind of had last year. And yeah, it's kind of nice to have some diversity also in the quarterback class as far as like upside, baseline talent, kind of just an all-around blend of prospects. You don't really have, like last year, it was just kind of like you feel like you had Kenny Pickett with the highest floor, and then like Corral, Howell, like guys I liked, but once again, like they fell in the draft for a reason. They weren't anything out of this world. It's just nice to see a couple first-round prospects here.
Yeah, absolutely.
But now, also talking quarterbacks, we'll kind of touch on this and then move on a little bit more. Out of Levis and Richardson, are you of the belief that Levis is quarterback 4?
Yes. Yep. I think if the only quarterback that would sneak ahead of him, well, I don't even know. Will Levis is going to be quarterback 4. AR-15 will go after Stroud and Young. When they go, that's the question. I still think Anthony Richardson will go top 5. But Will Levis, it wouldn't surprise me if he dropped to the back of the first, even into the second round. Like, it wouldn't surprise me, but I don't have that happening. At least in my – so I had a little bit of a shakeup yesterday in my second first-round draft, and I had the Falcons trading out of the 8th spot to the Titans, so the Titans can jump up and grab Will Levis before somebody.
That's one of the ones I'm thinking of, like, back in my head, is because – not to say you don't want like the same guys in the building, but like, someone like Malik Willis and having the previous regime draft him and having Rod Carathan come in, you still have Mike Vrabel, but the guy who actually makes the draft pick now is a different dude than they had there a year ago. And I could see if they're unhappy with them having Malik in the building and kind of going behind Tannehill and maybe selecting someone who kind of fits Tannehill's skill set a bit, because that's not a comp for Will Levis, but I'm not going to say they're dissimilar as quarterbacks too. Ryan Tannehill, even up until the last couple of years being older, like has always kind of had like a good amount of athleticism to him, arm strength. The big thing is like just kind of putting it all together.
Yep.
And, at one time. But yeah, I could see Levis going to the Titans. I think that's probably heating up for me. It makes the most sense to me.
It does.
Either that or they get AR-15, but if you already have someone like Malik, who is kind of a draft and develop guy anyways, Will, I think, has got to be there just in case, like what happened last year. Tannehill goes down. You're going to need a guy who can step in. You just don't want him to, maybe.
Yeah. Yep. The number 3 spot's going to be very interesting this year.
That's the pivot point of the whole draft.
And I think that if there were teams that were extremely serious about trading up, that trade would have happened already.
Not necessarily.
But I think it's going to depend on. I don't think that pick's going to get traded before draft night.
No,
I think it's going to depend. I think if either Young or Stroud fall to 3, that's when you're going to see teams make some pretty aggressive offers to move up to the number 3 spot.
It's like it's Arizona is like Aaron Beard right now. Right, they're holding on to that until they know the draft capital.
Yeah. Shout out Beardy.
Shout out Beardy.
But no, I agree because I mean, just saying from like Homer kind of buzz of what I'm hearing from the Raiders is they've been rumored to want to maybe move up to that number 3 pick, but I think the big thing is Young or Stroud available. That's the 2 guys we kind of have on our list, and does not surprise me. Josh McDaniels wants a guy who's athletic enough, but he doesn't need an athlete as a quarterback.
Yeah,
and that's where like Levis and Richardson just aren't going to play into our offense. But and also Devontae Adams has probably been pushing for C.J. Stroud pretty early on. So I could see if he falls, like us being a team who trades up, the Titans being another one. You got a couple of teams out there who could possibly make that move.
Yeah, absolutely.
Moving on here, Tanner, anything else you want to add on the quarterbacks? Anything on Will Levis putting mayonnaise in his coffee?
The what?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you didn't hear about this? Will Levis puts mayo in his coffee.
How fucking... Is he white?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay,
that was, yeah.
Okay, but it's like, God damn
Let's show you a photo of Will Levis here real fast.
This. It's like that scene out of Undercover Brother.
Oh, yeah, when he's got the hot sauce in the watch.
This is Will Levis.
How you doing?
From Kentucky. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That boy be white.
That's why I think he needs to play in Tennessee. Because, like, just kind of keep that, keep that rural thing going.
It's his homebrew.
I hope he goes to the Colts now. Because his weird, boring ass can go to the most boring ass team.
Where's Siglin at this morning to deflect them shots out?
Bruh, the Colts, dude, you need to get rid of him. Colts won't win with your owner.
Jim Irsay?
Yeah, dude. He's
Jimmy
running
I?
the team into the ground.
I mean,
let's talk about it.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I think he's made a lot of bad choices while drinking, while on the sauce. His dad, but it's nothing compared to his dad. His dad once traded away John Elway and then, moved to team complete cities in the middle of the night because he was on the sauce too much. So
a lot of substance abuse and alcoholism in that family. But no, the Colts have had, you take away the last 4 seasons, and the Colts for the better part of the last 2 decades have had a very competent and good franchise, and the Irsays have been the owners, so I wouldn't say they've necessarily been running the team bad. I just think they've been making really shitty decisions the last 4 years on what they want to do at the quarterback position, so we'll see what happens in the draft this year.
I agree.
I would say it's just like the Packers. It was bad management.
Yeah.
Because they had all the tools to win, and they didn't.
Yep.
And they didn't.
Yep.
You had Aaron fucking Rodgers, and you ran into the ground. Just saying.
Yeah.
No, hey, he's still a Packer, okay? Technically, he is still a Packer.
But that's why everyone got fired. What was that? 2017, 2018?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why everyone got fired because everyone knew it.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have done it if they were like, "All right, we need a clean house."
Did you read the article about Rodgers and why he hasn't been traded yet? What they're asking and all that?
Yeah, so apparently right now we're talking 2023 second round and a 2024 first, and from what I'm hearing is the Jets don't want to give up any first.
So here's where I'm at on that is, if you're the Jets, why don't you say, okay, you want a first, I don't want to give you a first, so let's just make this a conditional second that turns into a first if we say hit the AFC Championship.
Yeah.
That way, if we make it that far, it was worth the first round pick. But if Rodgers his age starts showing and we don't play as good as, if Russell Wilson happens,
yep,
then you're only getting a second out of us.
Like where you guys probably should have done your picks last year.
In our defense, Russell was not giving anybody in the league any indication that is what was going to happen.
Oh no, but I mean, I think
he's 7 years younger than Rodgers. He's only 32 or 33.
Well, and I think Sean Payton will have a lot to do with his
I'm older
turnaround.
than Russell Wilson. Huh.
Broncos Nation, let's ride.
Let's roll, because you're in a wheelchair, old man.
Yep. Nope. I'm gonna just. Yep.
Shut up and drink my coffee.
Yes, I am.
But yeah, it kind of blows my mind the Packers are being so stingy with their goddamn picks.
Mm-hmm.
Just give it conditional. Whoop de fucking do.
Yeah.
I think a conditional pick be smarter. that's just rumored what's to be the holdup. I mean, even then, the Jets could be holding out on even a conditional because they don't want to give up a first rounder. Period. But still, the unfortunate thing is, like, even with a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, who is so late in his career, his talent level still speaks for itself, and I still think that's something you got to give something up for. What that price is, I don't know. I mean, I would also hate to be a Jets fan and try to give up a first for an aging quarterback, but if you believe that window's now,
especially with that young team, dude. Oh man,
you got to get a commitment out of Rodgers.
You put the Jets in the NFC, and I think they steamroll to the Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. But in the AFC, that's going to be
rough
a tough
conference.
Yeah,
but that defense, I would say it's damn near the top defense.
Yeah, especially if Sauce takes even a bigger second-year leap than what he did his rookie season. Sauce and PS2 are going to be really fun to watch next year.
I don't blame him even on like just completely kiboshing like the number 13 overall pick, because that's a hell of a pick to have when you don't need a quarterback in this draft. Like, talent's going to fall to you regardless. Whatever you want at that point, take it.
Yep. Well, and the other thing that Jets need to think about too is if they clearly believe Rodgers is their missing piece to get them to that next level. And so if he is, and you do get that far next year, your first rounder is going to be 25 to 32 anyways. So, I mean, are you really losing that much value giving that up for a quarterback that you really believe can take you to a Super Bowl?
Well, especially when you're not in a position to grab one this year. Like, all accounts have indicated, like, you kind of fucked up at the number 2 overall pick with Zach Wilson. Mm-hmm. So, hey, I said Justin Fields was the second best quarterback in that class, but no one believed me.
Yep. Well, you also say a bunch of stuff about the Raiders every year, so we have to take you with a grain of salt, man.
Yeah, I really think this is the Raiders' year.
This is okay. I'll come on record right now.
Oh my God!
Here's what's different.
Right now, this is not the Raiders' year.
All right, there we go.
And then it's going to become the Raiders' year.
Yeah, I think we'll be mildly competitive.
Can you stand me a pillow? I need some lumbar.
Oh, breaking news here. Let's just comment in. I wanted to let you all know that I had a dream about Tanner last night. Okay, we're having a talk later. No. He literally lived in a miniature troll house on the side of the creek in the ghettos of Philly.
Why Philly? What the fuck?
Damn.
That was a lot to that. Yeah.
Wow, that hit heavy this morning. Thank you for that.
Okay, the other.
Did you say Alyssa?
Yeah.
What's she doing up at 8:58 in the morning?
She works.
Not till 11. Oh yeah, I guess you guys take.
She's gonna be there like 10 o'clock. Yeah.
Yep.
We do.
No.
Oh.
The women.
Of that
the
family.
Women take.
Okay, that's just because. Okay, Alyssa takes like 45 minutes, and it's because she got all that goddamn hair, right?
That's true.
Work, bitch.
Love you. Enjoy your job.
What the fuck, Alyssa? Philly? That's the part I'm insulted about.
Yeah, a miniature troll house in Philly. God, that's great. I would pay money to see that. Can we get you just
Not
like...
even like Milwaukee, the bad parts of Milwaukee, nothing like that. Fucking Philly.
That's where the
Not
racist trolls are at.
Philadelphia.
Well, in the awkward part, in the weird parts of Milwaukee, someone who's an awkward white person like yourself, it actually usually tends to be the predator there, not the victim.
It's true. Yep.
Oh yeah, who was that? Which serial killer was that?
Jeffrey Dahmer, the people Dahmer.
Yep.
Nom, 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 nom,
Yep.
nom.
And his famous dog Baxter.
Yes, yeah.
A lot of barks.
Baxter. Bark twice if you're in Milwaukee.
Oh man. Yeah.
There we go.
Well, I guess what else is going on in the football world?
I'm gonna throw out a few. Like I said, I did my second first round mock draft. I'm gonna throw out a few trades that I am projecting. I had 3 trades in the first, and tell me if I'm horribly off or if you think this is realistic. So, just kind of curious. The first one actually, because my first mock draft, I had the Titans trading up the Cardinals to snag. I got a little saucy in that one. I had them trading up to get Anthony Richardson, and then I had the Colts trading for Lamar Jackson. Now, especially now that Lamar recruited OBJ, I don't think he's leaving Baltimore.
No, I don't think so either. Yeah.
I actually think the Colts. You talk about Jim Irsay making dumb decisions. I don't know if this could pay off. This could not, but I actually have the Colts giving the Cardinals their first next year to move up to 3 and guarantee they get Anthony Richardson. And I don't think that's out of the range of possibilities. It's a steep price to pay to move 1 pick up, but if you really think this is the guy and this is somebody that can transform your offense for the next decade or so, that's worth the first round pick. Quarterbacks are they're one of those positional players that are worth multiple first-round picks because they are the centerpiece of your entire team. And I think with Shane Steichen in Indy, I think he's one of the. As much as I don't like the Colts, I think he's one of the more perfect head coaches to mold AR into what he could be. So,
especially after his work with, Sirianni, I think is the offensive guy there.
Trying to be realistic.
But yeah, Steichen kind of working with Jalen Hurts in Philly, I think is going to be huge. If they do get someone like AR-15 or even like a Will Levis, someone who can kind of work within the grasp of, an RPO-based system, which is kind of, I assume, what they're running. There it's going to be kind of more like an RPO-based system. You're going to use the quarterback's mobility as a weapon, kind of get short throws. You do have guys there who can run routes like Alec Pierce, bigger bodies like Michael Pittman that can bring in the football. Like they have, Jelani Woods is still a sneaky option at tight end there that I think can take another leap this year.
Yep.
I don't think the Colts as far as like out of the top 5 teams, they definitely have the most potential to bounce back out of anybody who's picking top 5 right now. Obviously, talking about Denver instead of Seattle in that situation. I do think Denver's probably the second most likely just with the Sean Payton hire, but the Cards and the Texans and the Panthers, Bears, even anybody around there, I think it's gonna be a long season.
Yeah, except for the Bears. I think this is the year they really start to turn things around.
I could see a small leap. They're not a playoff team, but 7 wins, I could say so.
Second trade, I'm just gonna call this game rate my trades. This is just what I'm projecting to happen in the first round.
Okay, that trade, C-.
Okay, well,
realistic.
I'm talking about likeliness of happening.
Yeah, C-.
Okay, fair enough. The next one I have happening is at pick 8. I got the Falcons have a lot of holes to fill, and I think that they're going to get a lot more value out of multiple draft picks than they will out of the number 8 pick, and that's why I have the Titans trading up the number 8 pick and sending them the what do they have, the 11th? Yep, I have sending the Falcons the 11th this year, and then a 3rd this year and a 5th next year.
Question: what if Jalen Carter's there? What if
he won't make it past 7?
No.
He won't make it past 7. 5, 6, 7.
The Raiders would pick him.
5, 6, 7. He will go to one of those 3 teams if he falls past 4.
I do have Jalen Carter going to the Lions at 6.
Yep. And even then, if the Lions, because of Okuda, take a cornerback, the Raiders need corner. We need a defensive tackle. While there was early reports that we were kind of out on Jalen Carter, we still brought him in for a top 30 visit. So,
yeah, he's been gaining some steam again. Lately, he's been climbing up a lot of people's boards. So, yeah, I don't. If Jalen Carter's there, yeah, it'll throw a little bit of a wrench in things, but I just don't see him being there at the 8th pick.
I'd rate that one a B+. I think it's incredibly likely the Titans try to move.
Yeah.
I was literally going to say that.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they try to. Whether they accomplish it or not, who knows? But I do think the Titans are going to be more aggressive in this draft about moving up from everything we've heard.
Obviously, Jets and Packers, we don't need to really dive into that one. I think that's
A- because there's still a chance it doesn't fucking happen.
Yeah.
Packers don't trade back. Fucking boring.
Mm-hmm.
Calling it now, boring pick of the draft, the Packers.
What if you do a pick swap in that? What if that's what actually gets it done? It's like 2 second-rounders, no first-rounder at all, but the Packers move from 15 to 13.
That'd be pretty
like
funny.
That's what gets it done.
Yeah.
Like a little swapski there.
Just a little move up too.
Just
Just
a little rubber and tugger right there. Yeah, on a team that has 2 running backs already.
Yep.
Trade 'em.
My last projected trade that I have is actually towards the back of the draft, and this is where I got a little saucy, but I could also see this happening. With the 31st pick, I have the Chargers trading back into the 1st, and I have them sending their 3rd next year. Okay. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I was trying to read this. I have the Chargers sending their 3rd this year, so 2023 3rd and Austin Eckler to the Eagles for that 31st pick so that they can take Jahmyr Gibbs.
Saucy. Oh, hold on. Let me get New Jersey on that. Saucy.
Mm-hmm. Jahmyr Gibbs is graded right now to go in the beginning of the 2nd. And the Chargers, Austin Eckler's, 28 years old, 29 actually. And Yeah, and they need. I think they want a new premier back to take over that backfield and somebody they can have consistent talent there for another 4 or 5 years, like they had with Eckler. They just need to hit that reset button at the position. Eckler's just getting too old to pay him the type of contract he wants.
And the where. I mean, like, not even to say, like, last year, before that, some called him injury prone. But, I mean, the point is like, he's just had a lot of touches. He's had a lot of tackles. He had a lot of hits in the last couple of years. Yeah. So, even when you're a well-used 29-year-old running back, I could definitely see that trade happening. You know what I mean? Like, that seems like something that could happen just because the Eagles win now mode coming off of a Super Bowl loss versus the Chargers, who do have a leap to make. Because I think, depending on from what you hear from certain Chargers fucking fans, they're not close to a title. They're a playoff team, but like they have a leap to make. I don't know if Jahmyr Gibbs is that leap though.
He's not. The reason I'm so high on Jahmyr Gibbs going to LA is because he is the perfect fit for that system. He is the best pass catching back in this draft, and he's just a bigger bodied Austin Eckler. Let's see here. Austin Eckler's
like what, 5'9", 205?
205, and did I really get rid of that? And sorry, I had it pulled up here. Yeah. Oh, no, they're extremely comparable. They're the same size, 5'9", 200 pounds. So Jahmyr Gibbs is just a younger Austin Eckler. You're just hitting the reset button in what you're getting. And, I mean, you're talking about somebody who had, what do you have last year for? 44 receptions for 450 yards.
Which is good touchdowns. In college football when you're at
on
Bama.
Top of posting almost 1,000 yards on the ground. Yeah, he had 1,500 yards from scrimmage last year, and a third of that's receiving. He's a very good pass-catching back.
I could see Gibbs. I think his stock is going to be tied to Bijan.
Yeah.
I think if Bijan gets taken earlier in the draft, we are talking top 15 for Bijan.
He will.
I do think that increases Gibbs to a first rounder. Like, I'd probably bet on it at that point. I'd give it like a 70% probability.
Yep.
If Bijan goes top 15, Gibbs will go first round. And then at that point, I think you're even talking about a guy that I love and we've talked about too, even moving up to possibly the beginning of the second round or squeezing in the back end of the first, and that's Zach Charbonnet out of UCLA.
Pop that bottle of Charbonnet, baby.
Yep. So I love Charbonnet. He's a good running back. Another couple like home run guys to keep your eyes out for, like Devin Ikani out of Texas A&M. Absolute speed demon. Was a track star for them there, so he could be a home run threat. For any team there, but I think he'll be about a third, fourth round back.
So, question
there's depth in this class.
Because I've been listening to multiple podcasts about just in general, kind of similar to what we're doing here, and it's pretty funny that everybody pronounces his last name different. I've heard it pronounced Akane. The most common way I've heard it pronounced is A-Chain. How do you actually pronounce it? Because those are completely different pronunciations. The most common one's been A-Chain, but I've also heard people saying Akane. So I'm just like, how do you pronounce this guy's last name?
A-Chain sounds way too Anglo.
Yeah, I just think of A-Train from The Boys. That's
it is A-Chain.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's Devon A-Chain. Okay.
From what website?
A-Chain.
From what website?
The
name engine.
The name engine.
Let's slow our roll here. No,
or
I'm kidding.
A-Chain. Yeah, so 247 Sports has how to pronounce players' names for Texas A&M, and it's Devon A-Chain.
Okay, I like A-Chain a lot.
Devon
A-Chain. Devon A-Chain, yeah.
A
so.
chain just sounds goofier.
Yeah.
A-Chain.
But I am really high on Zach Charbonnet. He's 214 pounds. Yeah, he's a stud. I really like him. I need you.
Another interesting thing that came out this morning, Quentin Johnson is not being invited to the NFL draft for fear that he may slip out of the first round.
Really?
Yep, so Jordan Addison, Zay Flowers, and JSN are all invited, but Quentin Johnson was not invited.
That is interesting because I have him as my first wide receiver getting taken.
You're starting to see the DK effect, to where he's kind of a physical prospect. But remember when DK ran a really good 40, but then his shuttle time was slow?
Yeah.
And he started dropping and he went in the second round? Same thing's happening with Quentin right now. He ran a 4.5, which isn't fast. It's not slow if you're 6'4". But his shuttle time was towards the slower end, and so that's what people are worrying about is his
Interesting.
Ability to kind of fastly change direction. I think if you've seen him like run with the ball afterwards, I think like one cut movements are good for him. But no, I mean, if we're looking for a guy to kind of run like a China route, he's probably not your guy.
See, I have him going 12th to the Texans, and ironically, one of my comps to him is Andre Johnson. So I kind of feel like they're similar players, and so that surprises me. I'm gonna have to keep a really close eye on that before I do my final first round mock.
Yeah, there was somewhere, I can't remember the site I was reading on, but it might have been CBS or NFL. It was an accredited site, but they were essentially saying that right now, like the kind of insider knowledge is that he'll go between 20 and 28, but they didn't invite him just in case he slips out. They don't want a first round embarrassment. If there's something that the NFL hates, it is having guys in the green room being watched that were supposed to be taken early.
Yeah.
And then we just start focusing on Aaron Rodgers.
If I was projected to be taken in the first and I didn't, I would still rather be there just for the experience of it,
Yeah, it'd be cool as shit. Like
being at the draft, and it would suck, but I'd rather be embarrassed in the green room than be embarrassed on my couch. I don't know.
Big thing is, and with like the Dolphins pick, like for example, being taken away this year, is there's just contractually like the difference. Obviously the 5th year option's the first thing. You kind of have that 5th year option either to make some money. Any first round pick, I mean, even the last pick of the first round, their 5th year option position pending is still 10 mil plus.
Yeah.
So you're making money as a first round pick. Second round, that drops.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that's the big one for these guys. And also just the pride of saying, hey, fuck it, that was a team's first choice.
Yep. Speaking of first round picks, kind of circling back to running backs, I was going to talk to you guys. A lot of obviously the biggest running back name that everybody is excited about is Bijan Robinson. Where do you guys have him going? Because he's climbing. It seems like every day he's climbing higher in projections, and I do think he's going to be a top 10 pick. But where do you guys find him going?
Atlanta. Atlanta's my top pick.
Atlanta was my first when I did my first mock draft. That's where I'm going. Yep. But
Atlanta. I could also shocker here. I could see Chicago because they just got done with David Montgomery. I don't think that anybody they have in the building is going to be like that dude.
Yeah.
And there is just kind of something interesting of thinking about putting Bijan with Justin Fields. Like that's a lot of talent in that backfield to where you can diversify your approach on how you want to attack.
Yep.
You can be a run first team with both those guys, but then it kind of takes an advantage. Or gives an advantage to Fields because then at that point, I think last year everybody kind of keyed in on him a little bit more, and then whatever Khalil Herbert, Montgomery, whoever else was back there kind of was the secondary option. The way that team was run. Bijan gives you a credible threat. Not that Montgomery isn't even a good back, but
yeah,
I think Bijan we all kind of assume coming in right now is going to be like a top 7 back day one he steps on the field.
Yeah, that's actually where I have him going now too, is number 9 to Chicago, and I mean that's just going to give them, especially now that they have DJ Moore. Chicago is going to be so interesting next year, especially if they take Bijan, because you're going from a team where Fields, being the threat he was the only weapon on that team. So not difficult to scheme against that, right? But now you have DJ Moore out there. Now you have Cole Kmet's a great tight end. Let's not discredit
even then, there
him
was
either.
Games where the Bears were winning or losing 34-41. You know?
Yep.
So, yeah, you put all that together. Like, sorry to interrupt, but, like,
No, you're good.
Like, that was the thing is, like, they were scheming around Fields, but even then, they still couldn't stop him.
How many fucking 80-yard touchdown runs did he bust out in, like, that 6-week stretch? It was like, good God. Yeah, he just slipped right through a hole and off he goes. He's faster than most running backs.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
No, it's gonna be crazy. Tanner, where do you think he's gonna go?
No idea, Cotton. I haven't really thought about it because
fair enough.
Because I'm just gonna be honest. I don't really care because I'm not gonna get him in the rookie draft.
Fair enough. That's a very fair position.
I'm excited to see what he's gonna do in the future, but I don't care where it goes.
Well, I still think the Eagles should not be ruled out at all if he's there at 10. Like, you know what I mean? At the Eagles at this point, like, yeah, you just lost Miles Sanders. Sure, you gained Rashad Penny, and they can kind of like the whole committee back, but even in a fucking committee, Bijan's a 1,000-yard back.
Yeah.
Like, he's still your lead back in that committee.
God, I would hate it if you went to the Eagles.
God, that would be a stupid backfield. Think about that. Bijan Robinson, Rashad Penny, and Kenneth Gainwell. Like, that's a hell of a trio of running backs right there.
On top of having Jalen Hurts.
Exactly.
Let's not not to trash talk the offense of Philly last year, but their defense was top fucking notch.
Yeah,
they were.
Got to the Super Bowl because of that defense.
And I do think they go defense in the first round because
too.
they have pieces to
Well, they
replace.
got 2 picks, right?
Yeah,
they do.
10 and 31.
I got Lucas Van Ness going to them at 10.
Really?
Yep.
The Greek god himself, huh?
Yep. Really?
Dude, Jay Leno's stunt double. Have you seen that fucking chin?
Jay Leno stunt double shot.
Yeah.
What chin strength did you get in the boxing game?
99. Yeah, I was telling Tanner like we should go like other sports games attributes that like apply to these guys. So not from Madden, but yeah, I'd say 99 dunk probably goes to Quentin Johnston.
That's funny.
99 chin strength definitely goes to Lucas Van Ness.
That's funny.
Just that.
Just look at it, dude. You're looking at it right now, like, bro.
Yep.
Just that noggin. He looks like the bouncer to a country club.
Looks like the superhero in the Fairly Odd Parents.
He looks. Yeah, okay, I was thinking that after you said Jay Leno stunt double, I was gonna be like, yeah, known from his previous roles, the Crimson Chin on Fairly Odd Parents.
The Crimson Chin.
All right, so this is not going off of. You know what? I'm just gonna kind of probably come off shitty either way saying this, so I'm just gonna say it. Christian Gonzalez looks like the Mexican Joker.
From South Park?
Yeah, from South Park. Look at him. Tell me that's not the Mexican Joker, Jace.
What if he's Guatemalan?
Oh God.
What if he's Guatemalan?
That's fine. I'm more talking about the South Park episode, like the Mexican Joker.
All right.
He'll okay, yeah, Latino Joker then.
Yep.
But seriously, like, look at if you can see this right now. Look at that smile. Look at it. He's up to some shit, and that's why I will definitely take him in Vegas.
I would stab him.
Yeah. All right, so if he's the Joker, who's Batman in this class?
Oh God.
I don't know with that chin, dude. Like,
Who's Bruce Wayne?
Also, can we, while you're looking that up, can we take a moment to just appreciate probably the greatest draft photo, and that is Cody Mox.
Dude, he played hockey. Guarantee it.
Yep.
That boy played hockey.
Most likely to have a dip in when he's drafted. Fuckering succotash, Sylvester. You think Alyssa and Steph have a brother out there that they don't know about?
That's fucking.
I'm just saying, like
I'm just saying, fam.
Christy, you got a kid that we don't know about here? Like, I'm just saying, this looks like it could be part of the family.
Let's talk about.
That's funny.
Good God. That's fucking funny.
Oh, what are some other ones here? Oh, yeah, Tanner was hating on Carl Brooks' haircut.
Bruh, like it's bad. Well, and it's more so combined with the picture. Worst picture of the NFL draft prospects. Look at that. That's a terrible photo.
I don't even know if people can see it.
Is he constipated? Like what? Like he's uncomfortable.
God, this is a man who is experiencing extreme discomfort right now. You can tell it. Face is all scrunched up, especially around the eyes. You can always tell a man by their eyes. What are you looking up over there?
I'm looking at consensus mock drafts with consensus big boards just to kind of see where everybody's lining up at. The most popular pick. So when I say most popular, I mean the one that has the most consensus mock drafts all having the same pick is Will Anderson, number 3 to Arizona. So
I would agree with that, just because I think right now, when you're mocking, especially now, let's be real, we're talking about all this. There's a good chance Arizona does not move off that pick, and they just take a generational pass rusher. Oh no,
yeah.
A defensive head coach taking a defensive fucking player with their pick, who's probably the safest generational prospect in this class.
For real.
I don't think that would be a bad option.
How does the meme go? Oh no. Oh well.
Yeah. Anyways.
Oh, no. Anyways.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yep.
Now, let's move to wide receivers. Who you think Quentin Johnson is wide receiver 1?
He's not my wide receiver
He's
one,
not,
but I
okay.
think he's the first one that goes. I think JSN is the best wide receiver in this class. Jordan Addison is who I have at number 2, and then Quentin Johnston.
Shading my boy Zay there.
Dude, people love big body receivers.
Mm-hmm.
They want that physicality.
I want that body. I mean, yeah, let's remember who went first. The first receiver to get taken last year. We had a lot of skilled guys who had better production, and Drake London went first because he was bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and he he had the tangibles.
He did. He did.
Minus the dog shit team Atlanta put together. Fuck that head coach.
I would.
Fired.
Arthur Smith didn't get fired.
What? I thought he got fired.
No, Arthur Smith is still there.
He's still there.
Yeah, they're reloading. They're giving Arthur Smith every chance to keep his job this year.
Drake London is available to trade. Sick of that disappointment. Not him. It was the Arthur Butthole Smith.
Quentin Johnson, though, I think I'd say is honestly on par with London. Probably not as polished as far as like in the air ball skills, but I do think he's more dynamic with the ball in his hands afterwards, and I do think he's got the same kind of profile as London. Mm-hmm. So this year's class, I think the issue is maybe there's just not as much depth of talent right away. You know what I mean? Like last year was kind of a competition. You had Garrett Wilson, you had Olave, you had guys there. I mean, I was a little bit softer on Treylon Burks for a reason that kind of showed year one, but like you had talent. You know what I mean? That was all kind of comparable. This year, I feel like the defensive talent has shown up over that. I still view these guys like JSN is like a Garrett Wilson or Olave as far as prospect strength goes. Yep. Funny enough, he played with them.
And they both said that he was the best wide receiver in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, those two, JSN or Marvin Harrison Jr. Right now, who would you rather have?
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Same.
I cannot wait for
That's
him.
going to be.
He's
going top 5 next year.
Yeah. Yep. He's like his dad, he's a generational wide receiver prospect. I mean, yeah.
He's going to be crazy next year.
Yep.
The one position that doesn't get enough love, just trying to kind of rapid fire a bit through these because, we're not trying to stay on forever, is tight end. Yeah, I like the tight end class.
I do too.
I love it. I think you got good talent. I think Michael Mayer, Luke Kincaid,
Darnell Washington.
I
know you're really high on Washington. Yeah,
I love Washington. Just play strength.
Yep.
He can block, and he has the blocking strength of a lineman. So when
he's 6'7", 264. That is insane.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
And still runs like a high 4.5, 40.
That's just wild.
Freak athletes we are getting, going forward is going to make football a hell of a game to watch. Because, Washington is the thing is like he still needs to kind of build more of an overall receiving set. But at 6'7", 245, there's just some matches where you're just going to be able to throw it to a certain point and he'll be able to catch it.
Yep. I think there's 3 key teams in the first round that could all take tight ends. I think you got the Packers, the Cowboys, and the Bengals. I think those are probably the 3 most likely to take a tight end. So you got Mayer, Kincaid, Washington. Where do you think if all 3 of those teams took tight ends in their first round, how do those trickle out?
Green Bay won't. They haven't selected an offensive player in the first round
since Nam.
Like a wide receiver or running back since 2002.
Yeah.
Tight end. Let's just say those 3 teams. Let's just say those 3 teams do end up, picking tight end. I'm still of the belief Michael Mayer's tight end 1.
Yep.
He might not have like the sexy receiving upside, but he's still the most stable baseline. And I think the Packers with that, running game probably going to be a big feature in the next handful of years. Yeah, I think Michael Mayer goes 1. I think Kincaid, out of Utah goes 2.
Cowboys replace Dalton with Dalton.
I think so. Yep. And then, honestly, I could see someone like Washington or even Luke Musgrave out of Oregon State going to the Bengals because I think they want someone who's going to be a dynamic receiving option when he's needed, but they do need someone who can help block too. And I think that's why Washington might be a little bit better fit there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Cowboys, they want a tight end, I think, as a weapon. And the Bengals, they could use it, but also let's remember, you are 3 deep on potential wide receiver 1s in Boyd, Higgins, and Chase. So you don't really need your tight end to be that receiving option, or go deep. That's why Darnell Washington, I think, is a 10 and under. Let him catch the ball, use his size to gain yards after the catch. But, you need a dude who's going to push the fucking bodies on the line, especially when your line is one of your weaknesses still.
For real.
So that's where I think I could also see if the Raiders do make a trade back, us possibly being a team who takes a tight end, not at number 7.
No,
but
if you trade back,
someone in the say fuck around the Vikings want to come get their quarterback of the future. They trade it for Will Levis at 7, and they give us 2 firsts, and we go back to 23. I could see us doing that.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a shit hot take.
Yeah. That's a hot take there, bud.
You have any other hot takes for the first round, Cole?
Oh, let's see here.
I already got my Austin Eckler one. That's my hot take.
Yeah, I think a couple of running backs could go. I think corner is going to have a premium at the end of the first round. I think you're going to see guys like Emmanuel Forbes out of Mississippi State. I think Deontay Banks, after having a strong combine and pre-draft, out of Maryland could definitely move up a bit. Deontay Banks is someone who kind of is very interesting because he has all the body work of a prospect. Like his tape when he's healthy looks good. He's 6'2". He runs a 4.3. He's got an amazing vertical leap, very quick with his feet.
Yep.
The problem though is his health and just the production he put up on out there. But cornerback, I think it's right now it's Gonzalez Witherspoon 1-2. Even for me personally, I've kind of done a little bit of jockeying.
Joey Porter's been climbing up too.
I think Porter is very much 1B in that situation.
Yeah.
I think all three of them are all pro potential guys. I just think right away, the dog that you're getting in Witherspoon is unmatched. Porter has that dog in him, but it's not as reeled in as Witherspoon. He's going to make a couple more mental mistakes, I think, year one. But honestly, if the Raiders were to pick any one of those guys, I'd love it. If you were a team who needs a cornerback and you pick any one of those three guys, I would not be sad. Like at this point, they are top 10 worthy talents. Porter, I kind of fringe on that 10 to 15 spot, but even then, you take someone like that in 5 to 10, in that range there, it's not a reach.
Yeah.
I just think the defensive talent in this class, especially at corner, cannot be understated. Jack Campbell, linebacker 1.
Yeah.
Bold take there.
Okay.
Jack Campbell, I love him, out of Iowa. I don't think he's respected.
Yeah.
Put some respect on that name. He is, 6'3", 249, but he So what is it? Walk the Mock has like this RAS, relative athletic score, that they do for all the prospects for like what they do at their pro days and at their combines, and they kind of match it up to what prospects have done all time in their workouts. And Jack Campbell, out of 10, had a 995.
Wow.
Bajan, for example, was a perfect 10.
Okay.
So like as far as prospect strength goes, so. And you're talking these guys like out of 3,000, 4,000 prospects in the past 15 years, Jack Campbell's like number 6 as far as relative athletic score.
Yep.
And, he's got good game instincts, so I think if you're looking for a linebacker, that's someone great to take. Tomi Adibawari out of Northwest or K-State that we were talking about, he's had a hell of a combine and kind of pre-draft leading up. He's a tweener.
Yeah.
Some people have him as a 3-tech, some people have him as an edge. I think he's a versatile lineman that if you are in a system like you guys run out in Denver, like we run in Vegas, you kind of shift between 3-4 and 4-3. That can be someone who's going to be a hell of a foundational piece.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm trying to think of, I have a lot of sleepers, but we'll save some for next week and the draft.
All right.
Sign us off. I'm going to wiggle my way out of here.
Hey.
Oh, Tanner, sorry.
Thanks for tuning in, you guys.
Oh, no, Tanner.
Oh, yeah.
Tanner has to go. Tanner.
I had a couple things, man.
All right.
I
Well,
do
you
things.
get your things.
Some funny fucking shit, all right? Whitest guy in the draft. All right? Tanner McKee. White recognized white. And I don't mean as in skin tone. I mean as in attitude. Look at that shit. His haircut, way he talks, white as fuck.
Fair enough.
Tanner recognized Tanner.
Okay.
And my favorite name of the draft is Q Blue Kelly. It's cornerback out of Stanford.
Q Blue Kelly.
Yeah. Q Blue Kelly. It's K-Y-U.
Q.
I love it. It's 2 abbreviations and then a real name. Like, I love it.
Q Blue.
Mm-hmm. And since there are 2 tanks in this draft,
Yeah, the Bigsby and
Bigsby and Dell.
Yep.
All right. Which one is my favorite? I have to pick one, and it's false. Neither of them are. The M4 Sherman tank used in World War II is actually my favorite.
That's the best take.
I just wanted to see your reaction. You already gave me the.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right. And my last one to sign off is most likely to whoop my ass. And that's Jacqueline Roy, defensive lineman. I forget how to wear it, but he'd whoop my ass because I'd pronounce it Jay Quellen. It's like, hey, what's up, Jay Quellen? And I just take like an elbow to the face, and I'm down for the fucking count.
There you
he's
go.
A big boy. If you look at a picture of him,
Big motherfucker.
he looks angry too. He looks like a
Out of LSU, yeah.
he looks like a fucking Ndamukong Suh type man.
Yeah.
He looks angry.
Angry all the time.
All right.
Oh,
just
that's
some
fun.
Some of the fun
Oh,
stuff I had.
I appreciate the fun stuff, Tanner.
Spent
It
an
does.
hour last night, so you respect.
Well, thanks for tuning in, you guys. We will catch you next week.
To you.
To you.